This message brought to you by Tylenol, or acetaminophen. Acetaminophen. Tylenol doesn't cause autism.
Acetaminophen. Yeah, it's a hard word to say, but that's what's causing it.
Well, now wait a minute. Are you a medical professional? Are you a doctor or a researcher by any chance, a scientist? Because if you are, which I'm assuming you are because you're making such a claim with such confidence on a public forum, then we're making some real news here. We're breaking news. Because you, my friend, are the first medical professional in the world to make the claim that acetaminophen causes autism. But I'm guessing you're not a doctor. I'm guessing you're not a medical professional of any kind. You're not a researcher or a scientist, are you? You know why I can make that assertion? Because everybody who actually is disagrees with you. This is what one of the leading doctors on the subject from Yale has to say on the matter. Does acetaminophen use during pregnancy cause autism? We do not know yet for sure whether acetaminophen causes autism. Here's what UC Health has to say about it. Many studies have explored acetaminophen and autism and found, quote, no causative link. And you know who shares that opinion? That would be the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, the Society for Maternal Fetal Medicine, and the National Medication Safety Authorities of the European Union, the United Kingdom, and Australia. And here are a few examples of why they share that consensus. Supporting their view is recent peer-reviewed research, such as a study involving 2.5 million Swedish children published in the Journal of the American Medical Association in August, and a Japanese study of 217,000 children published earlier this month. Both found no relationship between maternal acetaminophen use and autism. There are many factors that could cause autism in children. Many factors, both genetic and environmental. And it's because of those factors that it says such a range of potential causes and the likelihood that combinations of factors trigger each autism case cast doubt on acetaminophen's possible role in rising autism rates. Many of the early studies that suggested a potential link between acetaminophen use and autism did not account for the reason the pregnant person was taking Tylenol in the first place. Let's continue. Here's the World Health Organization. At this time, no consistent association has been established. In response to the press conference that Donald Trump gave on the subject the other day, Alicia Halliday, the chief science officer for the Autism Science Foundation, had this to say. The scientific studies that have been conducted so far do not support the idea that Tylenol causes autism. In fact, there were two very large studies that were conducted that use what is known as a sibling control, which controls or eliminates any sort of or most of the variability because of genetic background, and they did not see an association. I hope that's a sufficient rebuttal of your first point. What else do you have?
So Donald Trump based something off of a Harvard study and wants to let the world know about it, and your first thought is to make fun of it.
Well, yes, because he's wrong. And secondly, it's because he's the President of the United States, who has called a press conference at the White House to announce that they have found this cause of autism, and he can't even pronounce the thing. That's hilarious and worthy of being made fun of. But it's important to note, a lot of people are saying this and getting it wrong. This was not a Harvard study. It wasn't. This was a Harvard analysis of other people's studies. Harvard conducted no research on this. And not for nothing, but the dean of the Harvard School of Medicine, who was quoted in this press conference, his words are being mischaracterized, because even he himself has said this. Baccarelli's statement, however, argues only that there is a possibility of a causal relationship and calls for further study. So the research that they're quoting doesn't even say that it causes it.
And I'm guessing you can't read because this tweet's been up here since I started this video, and Tylenol even says don't take it while you're pregnant.
I don't know if you want to throw accusations and be all snarky and accuse other people of not reading, because did you? Because Tylenol's issued a statement about that tweet that HHS tweeted out, and it was taken out of context. It's 8 years old, and here's what Tylenol had to say about it. The response was, quote, incomplete and did not address our full guidance on the safe use of Tylenol, which has not changed. Acetaminophen is the safest pain reliever option for pregnant women as needed throughout their entire pregnancy. Kenvue, the company that owns Tylenol, said, referring to the active ingredient in Tylenol. The statement added, quote, we recommend pregnant women do not take any over-the-counter medication, including acetaminophen, without talking to their doctor first. And of course, Tylenol is not going to recommend in writing on the internet that some random person take some pills. Of course they're not going to do that. Are you kidding me? They're not doctors. They don't prescribe medication. They don't give medical advice. Can you imagine the lawsuit that they would expose themselves to if someone at Twitter put down in writing, to forever be remembered in the bowels of the internet, to some random person that says, hey, I know we've never met you, we've never taken a medical history, we have no idea what you're allergic to, but here, take some of these pills. Call us in the morning, see what happens. Could you imagine the litigation that they would expose themselves to? No chance. So, in conclusion, there is not one single high-quality study in the entire world that shows any causation between acetaminophen use and autism. Not a single one. There are a few that show a possibility of a correlation, but not a single one shows a causation. Okay? But talk to your doctors. They know you. They are experts in their fields. I am not a doctor. I'm not a medical professional. I'm not a researcher. I'm not a scientist. I am just a guy who likes to read and to debunk people who don't.